everyone, and welcome to Horrornightoasis, a radio show where we discuss all the latest movies and news from the world of horror. Joining me tonight, as always, is my co-host Ian. Ian, are you there?
I sure hope so.
Yes, it has been one of those weeks between shows. A lot of stuff has went down. Had a massive snowstorm, double snowstorm on top of that. Was locked in or snowed in. Couldn't do anything. I got sick, as probably you can tell by my voice. I had a sore throat, basically, and I had another sort of technical issue of my modem going out. So I just had a bunch of things on top of me. But yeah, my throat's a little bit better. It's my smooth jazz voice. Hello, everyone. We're going to be playing some Spyro Gyra now, coming up next on K-Light. But yeah, it's a little bit deeper until my chords get back into position. It's just that sick voice. And I might have to break occasionally and cough. So if I go quiet, that's just me. You know, hopefully it's not internet issues because again, I think that's the reason why I was cutting in and out a lot of the times because my modem died on me, and I got a new modem, and hopefully that brings some new upgrades to the show. I already know that Ian already mentioned that it's I come in a little bit clearer, so that's good to know. But yeah, just again, I might have to sneeze too, just because of the cough, sore throat turned into a sneeze cold situation. So yeah, it's just an overall fun time. Hopefully that doesn't do anything throughout the show, but you never know. You never know with these live things. But I know Ian's been going through some stuff, but we are here to continue on our madness of Louisa Marathon. That fiery little chubby redhead, man, she is not taking no prisoners this marathon.
Nope.
Continuing on, of course, with the film that we picked last week with Punch and Judy, and deciding on what should we do for next week, and the wheel or roll of the die landed on a certain individual by the name of a Pigman. And man, she is like I said, not pulling no punches
Yeah.
this marathon. It's almost like a brand new Louisa from the old days of Tooth Fairies and Bride of Scarecrows and Krampuses versus Vikings and Dr. Carver. So it's just like I don't know what had no more leprechauns. She's there's a new underlying message to her films, and she's just gonna shove it down your throat. So Ian, let's get into Pigman. So Pigman revolves around a group of YouTube influencers by the name of basically his name's Carter Bronx. Um, and he is this big YouTube influencer. Him and his gang that he gets together, sort of again, I don't what like Mr. Beast or those Logan Paul, something like that, where it's just they go to a certain like haunted place and sort of just like in a sense like make it up as they go along, but it's always like obnoxious in your face sort of ramblings of people doing things. So we have Carter and his girlfriend Amy, and then we're also introduced to Stacy, Prophet, and Echo. And Echo is the camera lady. She does all the camera stuff, and Echo's not Echo, but Prophet is the gay friend, and Stacy is I have no idea who Stacy is. Honestly, she's there and then she's gone. So they go to where's the place? Sudbury Chase, a little countryside village where 25 years prior there was a guy named Tom, and he murdered a bunch of people in response because his father was in debt, wasn't able to pay anything, and committed suicide, which causes Tom to go crazy. And 25 years later, he's still living in around the residence of his old home, and so Chase and them decide to go look up this legend, and they come across the Pigman, in a sense. Um, to be honest, when this first started, this has probably one of the better openings of a Louisa film, because
Yeah.
I was really thinking, like, at first, like, are we sure Louisa directed this? Because this doesn't feel like a Louisa film. Because it was like actually like engaging, with the Tom and his father and the the murders of the three kids, Justice for Three, as they were calling it. Um, and like there was some like the gunshot effects weren't the best, and again there's some fire effects later on. It's not the best, but um, for an opening segment before we're introduced to our main central cast of characters, it was pretty solid. Um, and then like again as the film progressed, it still gave me that like this still doesn't feel like a Louisa film. Um, it didn't give me give off any of the issues that we had with like prior films, and then it slowly kind of revealed itself towards the end there. Um, and then it just kind of just rambled on for Jesus up to the hour mark on, where it
Yeah.
just kind of dragged and like nothing was really happening, and like the Pigman is just there for happenstance, and like, oh, we need a character to die, better bring the Pigman in because he's gonna be at this place at that same time this character's at, and like there was like no urgency really, because like this is one of those films where the legend of the Pigman is only there to push forward another narrative of a more hidden pig, if you will, and we'll get into that a little bit later in spoiler territory. Um, but yeah, it wasn't terrible. Um, it is another one where it's just like things come out of nowhere and get again in your face. There's some okay, practical effects. There's like a severed leg that's all right. Um, and like the backstory of like the Pigman and Tom, like that could have been handled a little bit more efficiently. But again, they weren't going down that route for some reason. They wanted to go another route as the central focus of the film, which kind of hurts it a little bit. Um, but again, it's not her worst. Um, but there's inklings here of something grander, and it just again the narratives it pushes is just where it kind of teeters on being good and not good. But again, I didn't mind it compared to previous films, and like again, this is like a weird new era for Louisa. But Ian, I'll get your thoughts, and then we'll go back and forth and get into spoilers.
Okay. Well, I mean, no, it didn't feel like a Louisa film until like, you know, but at the same time it kind of did just because of how chaotic and ADD this movie is. It goes from one plot to another subplot to another main plot, which leads into another subplot of the main plot, which I was like, oh my God. I mean, some parts were great, some parts weren't. I liked the Pigman. I liked his mask. I thought it was nice and spooky. But that movie, whew, they wouldn't like. I kept saying, "Shut up, please! Just somebody kill these people so this movie can end." For the love of God, because they were so obnoxious.
Yeah, there weren't any good characters. Like no one to really get behind or anything. And like again, it's a stupid slasher movie, but still, you kind of gotta have some characters that like you want to root for. But like this one, like no, this is like everyone is fucking ass and just condescending assholes, and just like no. Not the case here.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, I, you know, it's just there's too much. I think there's too much she was trying to throw into one little film,
Yeah.
while also, um, like not really doing much with what she has, which is a very Louisa thing to do.
Hmm.
Because it's like, you know, 1 minute, you're getting some kind of deep story, and then the characters take things too far, and then they go off on their own and then spray piss on each other. And I'm not joking, like that actually happens.
Yeah.
He fills a bottle, a big old bottle of pee, and then like squirts them because they're doing like internet challenges or something.
Yeah. The pig games.
Yeah.
Because apparently, like, that's the one way to go to learn about the local legend of Pigman is to do your friends or your crew members into humiliating, degrading games
Yeah.
for the world to see. And that is involving piss and getting their head dunked in slop and wearing pig outfits and doing other unnecessary, just degrading challenges. And
And
he
then
gets his
partying.
rocks off on it.
Yeah, and then they all party together like none of that shit just happened
Hmm.
because they're getting views. And it's like, I was just like, "Oh my god. I hate every single person in this movie." I was like, I just,
I mean,
you
yeah,
know,
I mean, when Pigman's the most sympathetic, it's like in Sinister 2 where like you have like Bagul as this main bad guy, but like you have to like the little boy, like his father's like the abusive abusive father. Like Jesus, man, the dad's more fucked up and crazy and bad and then the Bagul. And that's the same in this one where like a certain character, which we'll get into, is like more of a monster than the actual monster.
yeah. That that's one of the things. I was just like, man, there was a twist and I was like, I would have rather seen this twist happen earlier on. And like then what? The last like 40 minutes of the film or like 30 minutes of the film or something like that.
Yeah,
It was like it just felt like they didn't know where to go with these characters and then they just like just like flipped. It just felt like almost out of nowhere. But I mean, she at least tried to make it make sense of what happens, but
yeah,
I was like that twist just felt like it came out of nowhere and I was like I'm supposed to feel sympathetic for it, but at the same time I was like this just like blindsided me. And then nothing really I don't know. It was just a weird film. That's all I can say right now.
yeah. And like there's just like again very minor things that just like didn't make sense. Like why was the voice distortion on why did the pigman have voice distortion even when he takes the pig mask off and he still has a distorted voice but like nothing there.
Leprechaun 2.
Yeah, I know, but still. And then and then towards the end of the movie the same thing happens to the other character but like it's just like that's just an odd choice. And then like everything else was just like again it's not like I said, it's not bad. It's just after a while it just kind of became numbing and boring where it's just like we're not going anywhere fast and we're kind of in the mud and we're stuck and we just don't know where we're going. We have an idea, we have a good idea, but this mud came out of nowhere and we're stuck here. And they're just trudging along, just trying to clean up their mess that they
Yeah.
made, and it just kind of spirals and circles around,
Yeah,
and it's
and
just
then they
like
stop trying to clean up their mess and just make it worse.
yeah, and then like the more fourth wall breaking towards the end too, and like random characters that showed up. I mean, she's not random; it's the guy's mom, but still, like. I thought that was a wig. Wink. Like, why was that necessary? It's just like, and then the ending too. That was another fourth wall break. Like, I don't understand these fourth wall breaks with like these serious, like it's supposed to be like a
Topics, yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I think she saw Deadpool versus Wolverine and thought the fourth wall breaks were a neat little thing and thought she would include those.
Maybe I don't know. But she's getting a little redundant with these fourth wall breaks for no reason, just to nudge the viewing audience. But and I don't think we can go any farther without doing spoilers. So,
No.
For those who are interested in this, be forewarned, it's spoilers from here on out.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, there's a certain narrative in this film. And as you heard last week with Punch and Judy, that was sexual assault with the brother and the friend, the girlfriend. And this one, man, it's just like in your face. It is, we have ourselves a self-centered, controlling narcissist in Carter Bronx, who loathes and, just self-centered, just being, just vile individual in a sense. And Stacy is his girlfriend, and he's basically in an abusive, degrading relationship with her, while she's a
Yeah.
recovering opioid addict who is trying to recover, but she's wanting to get back on opioids because of Carter and his mentality towards his controlling behavior towards her. And at the same time, he's talking to this underage girl on the phone.
Yeah.
It's 14 years old, and he is wanting to get with her and get pics and stuff like that. And so he's being, that with underage girls, which again, I remember hearing something like that actually happen before on a YouTube personality, but I don't remember the names. It was years ago, but I remember something like that where like they were sending photos.
Yeah.
Was it some wrestling organization dude? I don't know. But anyway, he he's talking to her, and like Stacy's like telling him to, you need to block her, you need to block her, and he like unblocks. Well, he blocks her and then unblocks her, and he's like getting all these pictures and all this other stuff, and like again throughout the whole movie, he's just this prick, this asshole of just like, again, as we mentioned, the games that he does to his crewmates, and just like constantly belligerent everyone, and just like very controlling and manipulative. When the Karen that interviewed the mother, or the person that had the three people, the young kids, die, and like he's like edging her on, just trying to get her to like break and, like go against her will, and just like really digging his claws into like everyone, and just being this narcissist.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going from there. And again, we're getting into spoilers, where he slowly kind of goes insane, and he becomes the monster over the Pigman, because he is just crazy with power, in a sense, because like it's his way or no way, and he's just this controlling individual where like, no, I'm gonna have it my way. F every one of you. This is my show. I don't care about anything. I don't care about any one of you. And then that leads Stacy to go back and overdose on opioids, or take a bunch of pills. And again, like, I don't care if I'm texting an underage girl that's 14 sending nudes. I don't care. I'm a guy. I have needs. I don't care. I'm a jerk. And I'm going to do that over caring about your mentality and your will to live. And he's
Yeah.
just belligerent and controlling and just mean to everyone except for himself, because he's a self-centered narcissist. And
Yeah.
again, it's just one of those weird turns where it's just like, like I knew he was gonna be, like one of those characters. It's just like I don't care about him, but then it's just like no, they double down and just like even the characters like you're trying to like come on, do something to get comeuppance, and that never happens. Um, they just like lose all sanity. Basically the central characters that around Carter, and it's just weird.
No,
It's
very.
another one of those. Is just so like
And you know, like you were saying, this is like what she did in the last movie. When it comes to that, the girl Echo and the big reveal, like of how Carter ruined her life. It just
yeah,
felt like it was just like brought up to add just like a little bit of an extra weird layer to the film, just to like be tossed away. I was like, this is a serious subject matter that you're kind of just bringing up again, just to like a one-off thing, like because it was just out of the blue, like, oh my, you know, you did this, you sexually assaulted me and put me in the hospital, and my parents came to rush to the hospital and they died, and it's all your fault. And then disappears, then pops up. Oh, I'm not trying to save him, you know, but like I'm like, what is going on?
yeah, and like I said, they just like throw Pigman in there like randomness, random scenes just to like, oh yeah, there is a Pigman character, and like you're trying to get some of the not really the backstory, but like there's like some more characters where like he's going mad. Like every time he like kills someone, like he goes to eat, and I think after he kills someone, there's like a random jerk off session, but I don't know if that was Pigman or Carter in the Pigman mask, because like they like shows something else later on with like a syringe, and like I don't know if that was supposed to be like he's jerking off into a syringe to insert it into women. So I don't maybe that's implied, I don't know. But like when you see that early on, you think, oh, it's just Pigman having a jerk off session, and then like, oh, is it Pigman Tom or is it Carter? You don't really get a good definitive answer for that. And like again, Pigman comes along, just a random character in a random place, like the uh, car yard with all the trains, or
Yeah.
the RVs, RV cars, and like, oh, you're in there. I'm gonna pour gas, just randomly, just throw gas in there on you, light it up, and then like you can't get out, even though the door can open from the inside, the outside, inside out. But no, don't worry, the lock's there. That was a bad CGI scene with the fire. But yeah, it's just like Tom's sort of just like, I mean, he's more sympathetic, and he's killing people. Like again, you're more understanding with his needs and will to live and stuff, because he lost his father to the what was it, the insurance agency, because he couldn't afford the money to pay the farm, and then like he shoots himself, causing him to go crazy, wear a pig mask, and then he just like 25 years lives on the farm, takes care of the pigs with his mom or stepmom. I'm not exactly sure on that part either. Um, but Nicolette is her name, which is again which is a regular for all these films, because she was the mom, I think, in Three Blind Mice, and I think she was the mom or in Punch and Judy, and then Zero, the reveal girl, she's also in Three Blind Mice as the daughter. So like again, we got ourselves a connecting tissue, a tether here, Ian, where all these characters are starting to come in and out, revolving door style. Um, but yeah, it's just these weird, Louisa and these heavy-handed subject matters taking precedent over the central crux of the film, or the horror plot of the movie, and it's a
No, yeah.
weird.
Yeah, no, and it's always just like randomly thrown in there too. It's not like, you know, uh it's not like hinted at. I mean, I can see Carter, but it was like, haha, I was actually working on your downfall this entire time. I put up with you spraying us with piss and all this random bullshit to bring your downfall. But I had plenty of opportunities to probably do this more than once since we've apparently been working together for a while, and I was letting you get close to me and all this other shit. I was like,
Yeah.
this just came out of nowhere. You know, like we said in the last movie, you know, like if she had been like weird about her brother from the beginning, but no, like, and she was like, I loved you, and you did this to me, and it just was just weird. Like she brings these serious subjects up, and she just handles it so weird. Like it just kind
Yeah,
of
like
it's
again,
like
like I
really
said,
off putting.
the main plot of the Pigman is just kind of forgotten. It's that whole middle portion, at least 45 minutes to like an hour 10, is just like Carter Bronx, the asshole. It's his show, and
Yeah,
like the Pigman barely comes in there, and like you get just see him like kill one person, and like he's at the dinner table eating like sausages, and then you have like the big conclusion finale to the film is Carter going off his craziness and
yeah,
narcissistic capabilities versus Pigman, and then like Carter gets the upper hand,
which was
and like
weird.
yeah,
Like I was like, why? If this guy is this, like, he beat a guy to death for asking, just saying, hey, you know, he beat a guy in the head with a shovel. So, like, why is he being like, oh, why I'm going to hesitate now of killing this guy because he says, wait. And then I'm going to try to do it again. And then I'm going to stop again every time he says, no, 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 hold on, hold on, hold on. I was like, this is stupid. I was like, that's when I was like, you know what? I'm officially done with this film.
yeah, like the Pigman came up as like a chump in a sense because like he's this older man now, but still like he's like managing to. I guess he just it's happenstance to like, oh, this person's in here, I can get them real quick. Here's this person, but then he finally gets someone to match, met his own match in Carter Bronx, and just like, no,
Yeah.
you think you're crazy? This is crazy.
It just was like, I was just like, why you have the advantage. You have the weapon like on his throat. But he says, no, no, no. So he stops. And then he tries to do it again. No, no, no. And then he stops. And then he does it again. No, no, no. I was like, oh my God. This is this is stupid. And then watching him like overpower him and then tie Pigman up and then like do
Yeah,
all that shit. I was
all
like,
for views and getting more notoriety and fame and all that stuff. The world's gonna see the true Pigman. You're
yeah,
gonna be my golden idol, stuff like that, where he's just like, all he cares about is the views and clicks and money and stuff. And like even after the reveal, because I that's pretty much he gets Pigman after the reveal. So like even like all that, oh, you groomed me, you're an online predator. You did this to me when I was underage, and like he's like, who the fuck cares? Basically, like I don't care. You think it's gonna bother me? It's
yeah,
just like he was just like, bring it on. He's like, f the police. That
yeah,
mentality was like, I don't care. And
yeah.
then he
And
went on and he fucking beat up the pig man, the main fucking point of the movie. I mean, obviously it's supposed to be him, right? Like the pig man is there, but it's like there's another movie called Animal Among Us, which is about, again, like it sets itself up as like a Bigfoot sort of movie, and then it doesn't really go that way. And then
yeah,
like the whole title Animal Among Us comes in at the very end where the wife suspects the guy of like cheating after he's been through hell with a feral family in the woods. And then like, oh, you're just, and then like he gets arrested and like booked and charged because like, oh, he's an animal among us, You know, that's like the same thing with like this one, where like Carter Bronx is basically a pig man, you know, where he's just like very feral and vile and dirty and doesn't care anything about anybody except for himself.
Yeah. No, and like I said, the subject matter in the last two movies has just been kind of just shoehorned in for the sake of just shoehorning it in without like giving us a whole lot of like build up.
Yeah.
You know, like they could have brought up, you know, earlier or hinted at some stuff like, hey, weren't you involved in this like scandal years ago or something, like, and then at least then the reveal would have just not felt so like,
As a joke, as if
yeah, like
fourth
as a,
wall break joke.
yeah, and just as a reveal. And I was like, what? The fourth wall stuff is kind of odd. Like that is just a weird choice. But I think Louise has this like, I think her big strong suit is coming up with ideas and like with really good concepts and just shitting on them.
Yeah.
I think she's really good at that cuz it's like she brings up all of these good like scenes. She has really good characters, like or at least good villains like the puppets. I would have loved to, like I love those puppets. I thought they were the best thing about that movie.
Yeah.
I thought Pigman was pretty good. I thought he was menacing, and then it was just like, nope. At the end, it's
Smoke
like,
and
no,
mirrors. Don't worry, he's not that menacing, guys. Just wait.
yeah, it's just like, oh, so we're just abandoning this character in favor of another character. I was like, we didn't get. I mean, yeah, the dude was a psychopath from the beginning, but like, he just like went down that road real fast.
Yeah. I mean, I give it on the actor. I mean, he did a good job, so that's a thing. But just like again, for the sake of the movie, though, that's just where it kind of crumbles.
Well, it did sound like she learned how to edit sound
Hmm.
between this
I don't
movie
know.
and the last one.
It's still when Pigman was talking, it still was rather muffled, and I couldn't understand it
Yeah, that was
because of the
I
distortion on his voice.
yeah, I just attribute it to a bad voice effect. But I
Yeah.
thought that was so weird that he had that. And like his face was also blurry. And that was
Well, that was
weird.
supposed to be until the reveal, I believe.
Yeah,
So, like,
but that didn't make sense. Like they could have
yeah, I
just
mean,
like
true. And
they
then
could have
like the
had it
other
back of
thing,
his head or something.
yeah. And then the other thing was like his mom. It was like, "Oh, I'm just here to help or do something because of reasons." And then like, what are you helping for? Like, to what comeuppance are you providing? Because she was like, "Sarah, I'm just helping those in need or something similar to that effect." And it's just like
Yeah.
that came out of like random. Like, who are you helping? You know, like, is he? I mean, has he killed since the three people beforehand, or like, are you just like killing people for random? Like, is he? I don't know. It just like felt that was kind of weird and shoehorned in there. Like, oh, I'm helping because of people need it or that deserve it, and like, but so those three kids deserved it at. So, I don't know. It's just like that's another thing where it just like it kind of falls apart.
Yeah. No, this movie just was like it was really good at setting itself up.
Yeah.
It was really good at creating this like, menacing figure. And then they're just like, let's not focus on the pig man. Let's focus on them creating shitty content, them partying, them fighting over that girl doing drugs, and then immediately cut over to them doing cocaine and drink while drinking, and then being excited over the views and stuff. And while like Echo was secretly plotting his downfall from the beginning and waited until even way after she had the evidence and stuff, and was like, "Oh, I got tons of evidence at the house," and was like, "Oh no, let's go." And then they abandoned the plot until the very end of the movie, which Carter becomes the Pigman for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this. I just honestly, I felt like this was just such like an ADHD film, like because it was all over the place. Like I didn't hate all of it individually,
No.
but together made no sense. I just wish they would have like, you know, brought that descent into madness even more. Like I honestly was hoping that Pigman was Carter in the beginning because I wanted to see that descent,
Yeah.
that he was just doing this to like cuz he was so obsessed with views that like he was willing to go like to mass extremes just to get it. I was like that would have made a much better film
Yeah.
than just like, oh, this boy was bullied so he killed people. And then cuz his dad died. And then he just keeps killing people. And
But he's still living on the farm,
yeah.
even though it was being foreclosed. But again, that's when I guess the stepmom or mom comes into play. I guess I don't know. It's kind of glossed over because we got to make sure Carter Bronx is a complete asshole.
Yeah, no, like I was just like I felt like she was trying to make Carter the main villain, which isn't a bad idea. But you already have like, and having two established villains isn't like the worst thing in the world, but like when you favor one over the other and then just shoehorn him into being like this even crazier psycho killer at the very end of the movie, instead of us seeing like glimpses that he could be a psycho, like on that level of psychotic, other than just being a creepy content creator who's,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just was like all over the place. She
Yeah.
had
Just
good ideas, but she just did not do it well.
again, one of those where like you walk in, like, all right, Pigman, people go to countryside, local legend. Maybe it's an actual pig creature or something. Okay, it's just a dude in a pig mask, whatever, fine. But then you get no, we're gonna talk about opioid abuse, abusive relationships, online predators with underage girls, grooming, and suicide. It's just like, yep, that's exactly what I clicked on Pigman for.
Yeah. It's just I just, like I said, I just didn't like I didn't really see where this movie was going to go because it was all over the fucking place, but I
Yeah,
really did think for the longest time that she was going to set it up to where Carter was going to be the main villain, which I was right about, but at the same time like in a wrong way that just like I get it, he was trying to get Pigman for views and was like, I can tell your story, they'll understand. And then he just like, ah, just
yeah. It's like that character, that boyfriend character in like the Green Inferno, where like he's this condescending prick throughout the whole movie, and like getting other people killed and other just like not caring about anyone but himself, and like the girlfriend he brings along into the predicament of getting captured by cannibals, and like at the end of it, you're hoping he gets his comeuppance, but no, he's just free in the jungle in the Amazon. Like, yeah, that's kind of a waste. And like a big central point of ending the movie too with the Green Inferno is like the same thing with this one, but like he becomes the pig man. He just
yeah.
becomes this feral thing, you know.
Yeah, and plus, like, we didn't get enough time to like see this descent because everything happens with like all of this, like the reveal that he sexually assaulted Echo, and Echo was secretly like plotting his downfall from within, and she pulls the wig off, and the woman's like, "I thought that was a wig,"
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Oh my, that was," I was like, "That was a stupid line." And it's this all happens at the like the main end of the film. So there's like no buildup for anything because they would rather spend like 20 minutes spraying each other with piss and filming content in pig outfits and stuff. And I was like, this is a giant chunk of the movie is just being squandered by this random shit. Like we could have got that, like a lot. I felt like we could have got that information a lot quicker than how we got it. And you could tell the girlfriend, like he was
Yeah.
always making sexual advances on all the girls and being like really sexual and creepy towards them. So like I could believe that he sexually assaulted someone, but the girl when Echo's like you sexually assaulted me, put me in the hospital, my parents died on the way there. I was like, that's a lot of exposition for just the scene that's getting thrown away. I was like, if you guys would have just said something, or somebody would have brought something up about, like, you know, oh, I heard that this happened, and then the reveal, it was Echo all along. And then I would have been like, oh, okay. So this was already an established lore, and we could have, it wouldn't have felt as tossed aside as it did.
Yeah.
But she just comes, takes her wig off, and then leaves. Makes that a mission, takes her wig off to reveal who she really is, leaves, and then nothing really comes of
And
it.
then like Carter, yeah, nothing happens, and then Carter and Pigman get into a fight, and then she's like, "Oh, I don't want to kill him," or I don't want to help you kill him or something. Like you can go on, and then like she disappears for like the remainder of like she runs away again, like when they're fighting, and then like he overpowers Pigman, and then he ties Pigman up, and then slowly goes insane even further, and then she's
Yeah.
like, we don't see her again until the end where she gives more an exposition dump like some say he might still be up there, and like what happened to him? Well, they'll find out in the sequel. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah. That's what I was just like, I hate that she is like, I don't care about the subject matter. Like, I understand, like for a plot device, but like both times, both movies, this marathon that we have watched so far, she has brought up sexual assault as just a way to, you know, make a character, look bad, and then just straight up abandon that entire plot.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, so, like we got established that he hit on underage girls, and he was like, I don't even remember what she said he said that girl's dad was, and that he was just using her to get to him.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, that's a really fucked up, shitty thing. Like, you know, but I was just like, I'm just getting annoyed with the whole bringing up plot lines just to abandon them for absolutely no reason.
yeah. Especially for a film like this, like it just needed to be just a random. Again, it could have been a slasher. I wish it was an actual pig man, but I digress. Um, but just like slashing people, stalking people, like sort of like Mary Had a Little Lamb, where it's just
Yeah.
stalking people through the house. Like there needed to be more stalking instead of just watching him like eat sausages after he kills someone or does something like, oh, I'm gonna go eat now. My appetite's going. And then the random again, if it's him, if it's not him, jerk off session in the bedroom where you see his just ass going back and forth.
You
And like,
know, that's actually you brought up a really good movie to compare this movie to because it's similar.
yeah,
Because, Mary Had a Little Lamb was about the true crime podcast, and that's basically what this was. I mean, if we're gonna compare the two, I liked Mary Had a Little Lamb a lot better.
well, because the story was more like, again, the old lady and her son, and just like it was a better story, and there's like everyone else was fodder, but
Yeah,
it didn't really. I mean, the story was kind of null and void, but
yeah,
it wasn't as heavy handed as it was in Pigman with the sexual assaults and other heavy handed stuff. But like that one was just like it's a dude in a lamb's head mask with a sledgehammer going around attacking people. Again, like
yeah,
the crux of the story was just like, again, just people coming there to learn about a legend, and like it's the same thing with this one, but they like don't learn about it. Instead, they're just gonna party and uh, yell at a woman who lost her kids or witnessed or something like that, and
yeah,
then
and that just was,
berate
I
her.
yeah, like they were like honestly, I think I haven't hated a main cast as much as I hated them. And then like after they were done filming and stuff, and they were like, "Hey, man, that was kind of cruel what you were doing. I mean, we didn't stop you this entire time, and we didn't call you out, but we're gonna kind of say something now." And I'm like, "Why? I mean, you obviously didn't care while it was happening, so why pretend now? Like, you
Yeah, she
know,
gets berated, and then Pigman comes and just kills her. Like Jesus, there's no hope. You get
right?
talked down to by a fucking 30-year-old, and then Pigman comes along and just like, you know what? Nah, you're good. I killed your kids. I'm gonna kill you now for no reason. Like
Yeah,
no
and
reason
then
whatsoever.
that random picture that
Yeah,
got brought up, and then it was never like, was it real? Was it real? Because if it's not, that's kind of fucked up. And it's like, was it real? We don't know because it was like brushed aside.
yeah.
Ugh.
Like the Pigman's reasoning for killing was just still not fully thought out. Like, why is he killing the lady? Why did he kill the sheriff? Why, like I understand the kids, but like the other people, like they've been there the 25 years prior, no reason to kill them then. But now it's like fucking Punch and Judy. I got to get rid of the dolls. I'm gonna wait 40 years exactly, and then bury him.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. No, this movie, like, it's not good. It's not the worst thing we've watched, especially of hers.
No.
And like, she's just
Like I
so
said, man,
good at.
this is that weird new era of Louisa, and it's just we're gonna have to put it in its own category if it
I'm
continues on.
Yeah, no, like I'm curious to see because these are all what movies that she put out last year.
Yeah, the last year or two.
Yeah.
This is just like the hopeless era of Louisa. Like I don't there's like something happened and I don't know what happened and I'm sorry if it did, but Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's like I don't it's just weird the choices for the films, like you have the dolls and then you deal with the sexual assault in that one and then like this one you have all the heavy-handedness and narcissistic complexities of an asshole with and then you put a pig man in there that like is like a cannibal or eats I don't know if he ate their intestines or not, but like it's just it's the weird choices and they just don't mesh and it's a weird time for Louisa. And again,
Yeah.
I know the film's coming up too, and I'm wondering like where those are going to take us.
Yeah. No, the next couple of films are going to be very interesting to say the very least. Because I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah, Because we
with the
thought, again, we
direction.
just like, okay, Pigman, simple local legend pig guy killing people. No, it's totally not where you're getting. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just all over the place. And like the characters were just obnoxious. Like, and none of them are really actually like none of them really had any depth to them very much other
and,
than like Carter.
and like another thing too, like we're going back and forth on the texting. Like the very beginning, like he's texting Kate or Cara or whatever the 14-year-old girl is,
Yeah.
and like Echo's like right in front of him. Like, how does do you not hear the dings when they're messaging back and forth? Of course, you can take the alarms off and stuff, but still, it's just kind of like he's not noticing like she's on her phone too. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's you know,
And how
I
did the
just
mom know about Amy overdosing? Like, did she walk in and see it like after it happened? Because wasn't she at the farm like the whole time?
yeah.
So I don't know. There's just like things, little hiccups along the way when you really dissect it, where just like plot points don't really matter, honestly. I mean, come on. But again, it's just one of those movies where, like, again, you hope for something, you get something else. The smoke and mirrors gag, and again, like I said, like Ian and I mentioned, it's not her worst, and it's not the best. It's just that
Yeah.
weird gray area of like, where is she taking her films now? Like this
Yeah.
Me Too era Louisa. It's just like, it's weird.
Yeah, and it's like, it's one thing if they actually just, you
Tied
know,
together and worked with the
yeah, like
material.
I always hate movies that just use shit like heavy shit as just a convenient plot point and then just like, yeah, you know what? I'm now done with this plot point. So I'm just going to abandon it now. But as long as we don't get another puppet like movies like this and the puppet movie, I'm kind of hoping that she veers from whatever the fuck's going on with her right now.
Yeah, this is a weird time in her
Like,
life.
like, you know, and this isn't really to like, I don't know. I feel like we do rag on her pretty hard, but she makes it easy. Like every time we go into one of these films, I always know that it's going to be over a 40-minute long film or like a review
Yeah.
just because of just the sheer absurdity of her films. And at least like she makes something that, you know, we
I mean, they're
can,
talk, they're
yeah.
they're discussion worthy, but like they're kind of forgettable at the same time. Just like they're not they're not going to stand the test of time. Obviously, they're just going to be those stupid. Oh, it's on YouTube, it's on Tubi. It's just going to be like a stupid watch to put on. But it's like you just I don't know. I like saying, like, I know she's doing what she enjoys, making films and stuff, and God bless her heart. Um, but man, some of these, like, again, the subject matters. Like, again, there's worse subject matters out there. Like
Yeah.
some films. But it's just like you're taking like the most difficult subject matters and just like giving it like the most stupid subplot.
Yeah.
Like my brother sexually, my brother didn't sexually assault you. Yes, he did. I don't believe you. My brother wouldn't do that. And here's little hand puppets doing their thing. And
Yeah.
like this one, and
Yeah,
this
and
one,
then it just goes, and it just went nowhere. Oh,
yeah,
I hear she was berating her, accusing her of making her brother do it, and then it's like, oh, it's fine.
yeah.
Oh,
And
you
then
killed my whole family. It's fine.
Yeah, how dare you? I need a family. Well, you just murdered mine because you wanted one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill my brother at the end of it. And then we have this one where it's online predators, sexual assault, suicide, narcissistic mannerisms, and oh well, there's just a dude in a pig mask in a small town. Oh, but he hasn't done anything for 25 years, and just but then like like this other asshole, this Carter guy, he's gonna come in there and he's gonna berate and degrade and just be a total prick to everyone. Who cares if you're overdose again? I hope you do it. Blah blah blah, and just like condescending asshole. And then the pig man becomes secondary, and then the pig man's just like, you know what? I tip my hat to you, Carter. You can become the new pig man. You're a better pig man than I am. You're more crazy and over the top.
Yeah.
I just want to eat sausages and jack off on the bedroom and take care of the pigs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a crazy run. Jesus.
Very. It's and that's what I just want her to stop using heavy things that go like literally just don't go anywhere
I
and
don't know, but
being revealed toward the middle or like the main almost toward the end of the film or at the end of the film. Just want to see something better from her.
I just imagined this and Leprechaun's curse and like holy shit, that would have been a fucking mess. It was already a mess, but my god, if you put something like this heavy-handedness into it,
Yeah, no, like it's just I just want to see what she has coming because like I don't at least like the she's getting better with building like creatures and monsters, like villains. And but it's just her style is just all over the place. Like all of her movies are all over the place.
yeah, or the same film, just done differently.
Yeah, with the exact same cast, just
Yeah.
in different roles. But at least she's, like her budgets are getting better somehow.
Yeah, I mean, again, like this is a step up in like location scouting wise because it was like actually not in a mansion or an apartment building.
Yeah.
It's actually there's a countryside farm. Like that. Wow, we're getting out of the country. We're out of the city and into the country now. Finally get to see the sights a little bit and like I mean, it's probably the best location of her films that we've seen. I mean,
Yeah.
because it looks better, the farm, and even though it is just a pig farm, but still, like seeing the same house and mansion used over and over, and it's like when Mermaid's Curse, and it's like finally we're on a beach, like geez,
Right.
seeing the same room over and over gets monotonous. But I really don't think there's that much meat on the bone
Nope.
pertaining to Pigman because it's been chewed off, and someone else became the pig man. He took out his ribs and ate them.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that I do enjoy about Louisa's films is that like there's usually a lot more to talk about. And I know like for a while our review show hasn't really hit like longer than 45 minutes. But now it's over an hour. So,
Yeah, like again, something again. It's weird, just like happened. How she came into our fold of this horror podcast, but she did, and she's made her mark, and here we are doing a special for her. But because again, sometimes you just want to see, again, like when we did Leprechaun's game, that was just like holy hell, because we made it a special just to do that, and then of course Curse came along, and that was just that did it. And like this one, like I like after Curse, like I think we're done. It was a while, and then this marathon, like I kind of want to keep going, not because of the marathon, because I want to see where each film, these next couple of films take us, because like I'm intrigued by her mentality with these films, as we mentioned before. Just like what unnecessary plot device, heavy-handed thing comes into play with these other later films.
Yeah.
But Ian, I think I'm going to call it a show.
All right, that sounds
I
good to
hope
me.
everything goes well with you and your family, and as well as everyone else that's listening. I hope, again, all is well for those hearing us. Again, a lot of things have happened in the world since the last show, and we wish everyone well. And again, we appreciate you taking the time to listen to us ramble on for unnecessary amounts of time, especially for this marathon. But again, it's always interesting, and again, just to see these shows go from, again, just short to long because of the subject matter. Again, it takes a lot of dedication. And again, we appreciate it if you manage to make it this far.
Yeah, appreciate you all.
And we will see you next time for the continuation of the madness of Louisa. And it's gaining on us, Ian. But we thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time on Horror Night Oasis.
All right, goodbye.